So it is time for another contest, and this is just a preview. Flat Earthers have not fared well in my previous contests, and the flight planning challenge is still outstanding 18 months later. This will be the most challenging contest to date. I don't apologise for that, because this contest is based on events that are occurring in the real world. Is Flat Earth finally ready to deliver the goods? Let's see. The contest will be based on a search and rescue scenario with people missing in the ocean south of Australia with limited supplies. Coordinating the search will be time critical. You may think I'm deliberately taunting Flat Earthers here, and you are right, because it is time for them to step up and stop making excuses. In my opinion, if Flat Earth cannot produce results that can help our society, then it has no value. This will be a direct competition between Globers and Flat Earthers to see who can produce a search and rescue flight plan. I'm not interested in excuses. Flat Earth can either deliver the goods or they cannot. This is something I have many years of actual experience with. I have planned and flown numerous search and rescue operations over water. I have spent several years training pilots and observers in this type of search and rescue operation. We can save lives using the globe for flight planning. I have done it myself many times. This is another opportunity for Flat Earthers to show us what they have got and what they can do. So what you're looking at here is the Bombardier Challenger search and rescue aircraft operated by the Australian Maritime Safety Authority. They have 4 of these aircraft located at 3 bases around Australia. If you go to their website, you can see more information on the aircraft and the operation, and in particular, the location of the bases. One is in Perth, Western Australia, another in Essendon, Victoria, and the third in Cairns, Queensland. And these range rings indicate how far the aircraft can travel from each of these bases in a given amount of time. So let's take a look at this in more detail. This is just a preview, and in about a week I will produce another video containing all the necessary information for you to complete this challenge. Once again, is Flat Earth ready for a real challenge? Can Flat Earth deliver results when lives are at stake? Are Flat Earthers men and women who can get the job done under pressure? Will Flat Earth rise to this challenge, or will they again fail to deliver? Now, Flat Earthers sometimes ask me to post a photograph of myself, so I'm going to do that now. Here is a photograph of myself in the early 90s when I was in the Royal Australian Air Force. The contest preview. You must plan a search and rescue operation in the ocean south of Australia. The scenario. 2 people are lost at sea after their yacht capsized in a storm. Radio distress calls from them indicate they are now in a life raft with 72 hours of food and water remaining. I will provide simplified aircraft performance for the contest. For example, the total amount of fuel on board. We will use a single fuel flow rate for the entire flight. In reality, it would be quite different transiting to the search area to conducting the search itself at low altitude. Additionally, the weight of the aircraft is constantly changing as fuel is consumed, and therefore the fuel flow rate is always changing. For simplicity in this contest, we will use a single fuel flow rate for the entire flight. Similarly, we will only consider the fixed reserve fuel quantity. Normally, we would also allow for a variable reserve, but again, for simplicity, we will just use a single value for the fixed reserve. Information will be provided that will allow you to triangulate a search area. I'm not going to give you the search area coordinates. I'm going to give you the information that will allow you to triangulate that yourself. A grid search pattern with dimensions will be defined for you. Something like this, a creeping line search. I will define the spacing between the lines, and I will define how many of these lines are necessary. For this contest, you must determine which Australian airport to deploy from, obviously the one that is closest to the search area. You must provide distance and course information to the search area. How long can we fly the search pattern based on the amount of fuel on board and the fuel flow? Provide coordinates of the search grid entry and exit points, and plot it on a suitable map. Globers can use Google Earth, as I have done here. So here's a sample plan originating in Adelaide and performing a creeping line search over the ocean. Now, on this type of overwater search pattern, we will generally fly initially to the furthest point, commence the search, so that as it progresses, we are moving steadily back towards fuel. Flat Earthers must present the map they use and the coordinate system for determining tracks and distances for the flight. And I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want anybody telling me this is too hard, because I can do it. We can do this on the globe. There are flight crews doing search and rescue operations around the world all the time. So this contest, as I said earlier, will be the most difficult one I have presented so far, but it is based on events that are occurring in the real world. So no excuses, guys. If you don't have a map and you don't have a coordinate system that works, well then it's a fail for Flat Earth. And the winner will have a choice of several prizes that will be announced when the contest begins. So as I mentioned, in about a week, I will produce another video containing the necessary information to complete the contest. I don't want to hear any crying from Flat Earthers. I'm not interested in insults on my channel. In fact, I think on this video, if I see any comments from Flat Earthers that contain only insults, I'm just going to delete them. There's enough nonsense. You need to show me that you are men capable of producing results, not people who will just continually make excuses and post insults.